Well, the Wall Street Journal reporting President Trump has signed an executive order extending the tariff deadline for China another 90 days, bringing the new deadline to November 9th, just hours before midnight when the truce was set to expire.
Joining us now to discuss, Fox News contributor Liz Peek. Liz, great to see you. I suspected with the Jensen Huang, NVIDIA, AMD, we're going to export lower end the AI chips, and the U.S. is going to get to keep a little cherry part of the revenue from that. I suspected when we heard that this would be kicked down the road a bit, because that would be a negotiating tool, I would think, with China.
I think that's absolutely right, Dagan. Look, this is a really complicated relationship. It's not like some of these countries that just simply ship a lot of goods to the United States. Scott Bessent, a couple of days ago, said that there are a lot of other issues on the table. We've had, 3 rounds of trade talks, formal trade talks now, and I'm sure there will be a couple more before that November deadline. But they're talking about excess manufacturing capacity in China, with which China exports and floods markets to take over market share, which something, by the way, the EU should be fighting back against too, but they never fight back about anything, so that probably isn't surprising. We also want them to stop buying Russian oil. That's obviously a big problem in terms of China supporting Russia in its war with Ukraine. There are all kinds of things. Trump talked today about soybeans. Yeah, we'd like to go back to, remember, the trade agreement from Trump's first term, where farmers were going to get a lot more revenues from increased exports. So I think it's great they're postponing it. Let's get more on the table, and let's get some of the big problems solved, like whether we're shipping high-end chips to China and whether they are shipping rare earths to us, because frankly, both those things are still pretty fragile.
You know, a lot of people, Liz, talk about the delay and whether that's going to create uncertainty in the market. Just quickly, do you think the another 90 days creates more of that, or do you think at this point we've kind of gotten over that issue?
I think we've gotten over that issue. I think it's much more important, and I think companies will think it's much more important to hammer out some of these festering problems. I mean, certainly the chip suppliers want some certainty, so it may take a little longer to get there. Look, trade deals usually take years, not weeks or months. So frankly, if it's done by November, that'd be pretty much of a win.
All right, I want to move on to this with you, Liz. Harvard hitting back after the White House threatened to take away the school's patents, saying, quote, unprecedented action is yet another retaliatory effort targeting Harvard for defending its rights and freedom. Liz, what do you make of this?
Well, what rights and freedoms exactly are they defending, Brian? It seems to me still the issue on the table is anti-Semitism. The issue on the table is Harvard not fessing up about money taken in from foreign countries. There's a lot of things that Harvard has basically been skirting the law on, and certainly skirting the intentions of the Trump administration. So they can be proud and they can stand up for themselves all they want, but the reality is they have some vulnerabilities, and patents and how those are treated are one more, because it appears maybe as though they haven't been reporting all that they need to make public about the patents, or at least that they haven't been reporting that to the White House. I think this is a stupid fight.
Why is it that intellectual property and patents developed with federal dollars, and over a 5-year period, 10 universities got $33 billion? Why do they get to keep that intellectual property and don't have to kick royalties back to the federal government if our money was used to develop that IP?
Dagan, I agree with you 100%. That's just the way it's always been, not just Harvard, but other schools. Maybe it's time to take a different look at that.
Right. In 1980 law, Bay-Doyle. Change it, Congress. You're in charge, Republicans.
Thanks, Liz. You're the best. Good to see you.